Selamat pagi semua. My name is Zaïda. I'm the co-founder of the Clean Planet Project, which is an initiative hosted by Happy Green Islands. Happy Green Islands is an NGO based in the Netherlands, and we're also part of a task force in IDN, the Netherlands. So since we're short of time, I want to dive right into Happy Green Islands and its founder before we tell you more about our project. So Happy Green Islands was founded in 2014 by Kees Lefever, that some of you might know. And since then, he has initiated many different projects regarding cleanups, regarding how to make Saparua and the Maluku Islands cleaner and safer for everyone. He's also established an extensive network throughout Saparua and the Maluku Islands. I'm Zaïda. I have a master's degree in artificial intelligence. I'm currently working as a data scientist at a large telecommunications company based in Berlin, and I'm an expert in turning data into actionable insights. So once we have data, what can we do with it and how can we make it useful? Together, I'm doing this with my co-founder, Rintati Roza. She has a master's in science, energy, and technology. She works as a product owner and strategist at a large energy company, Vattenfall, based in Europe. And her expertise is in energy and data-driven decision-making. Last but not least, we have Sidi, our fourth member. He's an advisor. He's a PhD in bioscience engineering. He works at GFSGP Indonesia as a national coordinator and as an expert in science and tropical plants and crops. So we go a bit factual now, and probably you all know the facts on the left side of this slide. But talking to people here in Europe, they don't even know that Indonesia is the fourth most populous country in the world. It has over 17,000 islands and is home to more than 700 languages and hundreds of ethnic groups. But with this greatness also comes great problems, because what some of you might not know is its waste crisis and its waste pollution. Because 4.9 million tons of waste is currently mismanaged, which is uncollected, burned, ends up in oceans or rivers. And this is 60% of its total waste in the country. And 80% of the plastics that are currently being imported from countries such as United States, Netherlands, or Germany is being improperly processed. And I'm half Dutch, and I'm not proud of this. Learning that in 2021, the Netherlands was the country that shipped most of the plastics to countries such as Indonesia, Philippines, and India. And why is this such a problem? Why is mismanaged waste an issue for not only Indonesia, but actually the entire world? Well, while we're doing these projects, while we're learning about plastics, while we're learning about trash, we classified three main impacts. The first one is environmental impact, because marine and land ecosystems are currently under stress. The dumping and burning of plastics, waste, trash, contaminate the beaches, contaminate the coral reefs, the fisheries, the rice fields, their ecosystems. And it's not only aesthetically unpleasing or is not only, not so nice to look at, but where does all the trash go? It ends up in landfills, it ends up in the oceans, but a lot of it is also being burned. And the open burning releases carcinogens, it releases toxins. And now research has shown the toxins in the air and the microplastics in your food or in your fish that you eat can cause neurodegenerative diseases. It can cause hormonal imbalances. There even has been fetuses, so pregnant women and their unborn babies have been already shown to have a lot of microplastics in their fetus. This is not good. It's not healthy and it's not good for our future. And the third impact is, of course, economic impact. Because pollution undermines tourism and food security. The polluted beaches, they drive tourism away, they decline fish stocks, and this can cause, again, lower income for families. So if this problem is so obvious to us, to the world, even research has shown that it's not good for us, why hasn't this been solved yet? And how do we think that we can solve it?
So Zaïda and me really dived into this problem. And the first thing that we noticed is that the local context is often overlooked. There are a lot of projects that are funded by Western funds. And a lot of solutions reflect European perspectives and not necessarily the local needs. For example, this leads to recycling solutions, and then when the investor leaves, no one knows how to operate the machine. Or plastic isn't really the biggest problem that people face in their community. So we really want to co-create with local communities and ask ourselves, will this improve lives sustainably? So we can have long-lasting solutions. Secondly, we saw that waste management is really complex. There is a lot of things that you can focus on. You can focus on education, prevention, recycling, pyrolysis, landfills. There are so many things that you can do. And this makes it really overwhelming to choose a good solution for your community. We want to simplify making these choices by having a more standardized approach. We want to use community and data inputs to simplify and enable the community to make the best decisions. And thirdly, without reliable data, we don't have measurable impacts. So most waste projects don't track behavior or return on impacts. And that makes it really hard to learn from mistakes, invest in different solutions when needed, or maybe just have a different approach within the chosen solution. We want to build a data-first impact framework that enables us to optimize and to adapt in real time. So, our approach is to start small by running a pilot on Saparua, where we will build this scalable waste model. Our pilot in Saparua will start from September this year, and we are really excited to collaborate with both environmental organization Rintati and Toma Madjolease, which is a local Jajasan on Saparua. 3 students from Dutch universities will support us in building this framework, in this data-driven framework. So the first thing that they will do is getting more data. They will develop a data-driven baseline of waste flows and environmental exposure. So what data do we actually need to know whether we made impact? But on the other hand, you also want to know, do we have sufficient plastic on the island, and what is the local context? So we will also do a baseline measurement for that as well, to actually do a feasibility assessment of different waste processing methods, but also prevention and other strategies. So for example, with recycling, there's 2 things that you really need to take into account. Firstly, is there enough suitable plastic on the island to keep the recycling operations going? And secondly, is there actually a need for the recycled products? And then the students will look into 2 things. 1, practically on Saparua, what is needed to make this a feasible solution? Or is it not a feasible solution? And then secondly, how can we conduct that research on in other locations as well? So we can really learn from the situation on Saparua. Once we have this framework, we want to expand to high-need remote regions in Indonesia. So we want to conduct those baseline measurements and see what is the need of those other regions. And then if we see that certain regions have similar needs, we can do targeted investments in local waste solutions that really work. So for example, when you do choose a recycling solution, you can co-invest in the shipment cost, and you can also share the cost for training to get the operations up and going. And this will really lower the investments needed to have solutions that work. And thirdly, we also really want to raise awareness about the plastic problem amongst the younger generations as well. And for that, we want to boost awareness and digital outreach across Indonesia and Europe. So we want to create a healthier population and a cleaner environment against lower cost by empowering remote communities to choose effective waste management solutions. And why is it so important to act now? So without intervention, plastic and health crisis will accelerate. We have all seen the imagery on the news about this problem, but there are plenty of solutions available. And secondly, Our data expertise really empowers stakeholders to be better informed and act decisively and transparently.
So we hope that you're now as enthusiastic and energetic as us to work on this problem, to tackle the waste crisis, to tackle plastics and microplastics. And you can join us in creating a cleaner and healthier environment. We're still looking for sponsors to sponsor this year's project. But if you want to partner up for publicity, research, or corporate social responsibility campaigns, please feel free to reach out to us at happygreenislands.nl, or you can email us at admin@happygreenislands.nl too. If you have any questions or just want to comment or just want to partner up or anything else, please feel free to reach out. Now I want to take a short moment to thank IDN for letting us present here and talk about our project. I also want to thank our partners, Rintati and Toa Majiliase, to do this with us, because together you can, of course, do much more than alone. I want to thank you for listening, and we hope that together we can create a cleaner tomorrow, because that starts today. Thank you so much.